Hey there everybody, this is Fulminata here doing another mock review. Today I am reviewing theynor, and his name has no specific meaning or anything, I just chose that name. First off, I'd like to apologize for the lighting. Usually I do this in the middle of the day, so there's a lot of natural light coming through a window, but I ended up recording this later than I usually would, so I'm using one lamp, so forgive me if stuff's a little bit harder to see. So I'm gonna take his weapons off, and we'll get to those usually last, because those are the most fun. Those are the most fun reviewing. We're gonna start with the feet. The feet, I don't know what point they came into with the mock, but the feet are actually Hero Factory armor pieces, and I hadn't seen them used like this before for feet, and I thought they gave the entire mock a really nice armored look, which I'll get into later. I use these pieces a lot in this mock, and I hate how stupid I was for doing that, because I don't want to take them apart now, but I really need them. I need to get more of them. So anyway, that goes up, and then there's a Glatorian neck in there, which is how it attaches. There's this weird convoluted system that comes apart easily, because if I pull this off here, the ball joint, you can see how it attaches there. I've got to twist it first, there we go. That's how it attaches, so it has room to swivel because it's on a blue joint in there. So that plus piece that you can just barely see, yeah, is where it attaches. So, oh man, there we go. So the problem with that is, since it can swivel and the mock has enough torque to it, it can pop the leg apart, which can be a pain in the butt sometimes. But I mean, I've figured out how to deal with it, because this mock's almost a year old. Anyway, I used a Paraka foot for the front. I know I mentioned how I don't really like using those on mocks in my last review, but I don't know. I just happened to use one. I think there's only one other mock I did this with. Anyway, up to the upper legs. The upper legs are weird because they're on a scale of the way Bionicle mocks are usually made. This is a very large upper leg. It's actually 10 units long, which is quite long actually. Because there's a hand piece, and then it connects by 4, and then there's another hand piece. So 2 and 2 is 4, 4, 8. It's 8 or 10. I don't do math good. It's basically just one gold piece and then a bunch of detailing to make it look like it's full and bulky. Anyway, going up to the lower body, I'm going to go into a little bit more in depth with this. So what this is this is actually just your normal like waist joint, but it's tilted back because I'm going to pop it off here. I've got a hand joint like that with ball joints that connect to 2 Hero Factory armor pieces, which look and act like hip armor. But if I push it forward like you would normally, it does not look good. So I have to tilt it back so that it looks natural. But it actually, I think it comes off well when you pose a mock with its pelvis pointed forward. I don't know why. Oh man, this is a top-heavy mock. Oh jeez. Anyway, so that handpiece, all the connectors are pushed up. There's a bow rock eye, 2 ball joints coming off of it, and the female end connects to the upper body. This also, I ended up working around this, so the back piece I use for armor actually goes in and connects. You can't actually push the waist part all the way up, which kind of helps. Anyway, on to the next part. There's just one armor piece there, and I've got the Mecha 1, I believe is his name, from the Exoforce thing, right in his chest. And I'm gonna go into the inspiration for this mock. I wanted to do a mock that had like a medieval armor-ish system, but that was also quite muscle-bound, because I'm usually used to seeing a ton of mocks that have either good-looking armor or like are very muscle-bound but don't look like they're wearing armor. I kind of wanted to get a nice in between in there. So what I did was I wanted to get a very large chest that still looked armored, and I thought that these Hero Factory armor pieces look quite nice. I just keep these on here for greebling, and I'll just pop that off so you can see the chest assigned within, and it just uses one of those weird pieces that Tahu Mystica uses in his shield and that's the centerpiece for the chest. I actually use those a lot for centerpieces in mocks. There's not really too much else I do with those because they work so freaking well. Anyway, going on to the arms. Actually, no. First, before I do that, I should do the back. Quickly, I just Geller's chest piece with the Hero Factory chest piece I got off Rocker XL because most of this was actually inspired by Rocka. I've also got this Metru armor chest piece there, just so I can cover up a gap. Then onto the arms. So I'll get this in focus here. And the arms are interesting because they've got good posability except for one direction. I can move them up, I can move them back, I can move them forwards, I can move them any which way, but I cannot begin to make him look like he's crossing his arms. So there's like no horizontal movement. He cannot move past this axis, which kind of sucks because of his big bulky chest, but I mean that's also just physics. If you've got a huge bulky chest, it's going to restrict your arm movement, and that's kind of something I wanted to I had to sacrifice when you're making a really big muscle-bound mock. Anyway, onto the arms. I've got these big bulky hand pieces here. These are actually posable. I'm not going to go into the arm design too much, but I will say that this, the forearm piece, was actually the first thing to be built with the mock. I built one of these. I think I then started building like the chest. I don't really remember the entire thought process, but anyway. So the thing with the forearm piece is you have to push that back, or else it doesn't look good. Because then there's this weird gap, and gaps don't look good on mocks. Hands, 3-finger hands, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and the last part is the head. I just used the Rocka head. Which looks like a lion, which I thought kind of looked nice, and noble, which is kind of normal for a lion. So that concludes the mock. I didn't really go too in depth, but I'm gonna start with the weapons. So here is the spear. This spear was actually made first. This was the first weapon I made. It's made to connect to the back part of his hand. That's a very common design if you've got like a hand piece going on there. But then the tip, I'll just pop that off. I guess it could be used as like a knife or something. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I wanted to get something that looked spear-like, but when you've got like that, with like, I'll try and give you an example right now. That doesn't look good as a spear, in my opinion. That doesn't. It looks like a stick. So what I did was I tried to put some greebling onto that, tried to make it more stable so that it wouldn't turn around, and I think I did a good job with that. Let's attach this on like that. Make sure I got it the right way. And we'll put it on to this arm. Okay. And then there was a gold sword. I've got that actually next to me right now. I actually have no way of attaching that right now because I was using it on another mock. What else? Oh yeah, his shield. His shield is the last thing we'll do. It's actually from a Lego Knight set. I think I only had one Lego Knight set, and it was Jaco was his name. And I basically just put a little bit of Lego pieces on that, and because of the way the hands were made, they can just be put on to... I'll just start to move the camera. You're not supposed to move the camera, but I'm going to move the camera. They just pop onto those Lego pieces right there I've got on the handpiece. So I'm just going to put that on there, put them in a cool pose, and end off the video. So this has been a review by Fulminata, and thank you guys for watching. I'm not going to tell you to go rate, comment, subscribe.